the Buda Belly podcast. I'm Brent Buda. My guest today is a writer and entrepreneur and also a personal friend that I met in my rehabilitation time. And that is Kris H. Kris, thanks for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I guess first off, since we're both kind of recovering alcoholics, today is actually St. Patty's Day.
Yes, it is.
What a day of temptation this will be to get through.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's I was thinking that's why I'm dressed like a leprechaun. I figure better dress like a leprechaun than chase after the booze, right?
Yeah, exactly. Rather look the part than act the part.
Exactly.
But man, you never really see an actual little person actually get drunk. Actually, that's not true. There was this one time, and when I was going to school in Santa Barbara in the party days, there was this guy. He didn't dress up like a leprechaun, or he might have. I don't know. I could never see him. But there's a Halloween, and Game of Thrones was still on.
Okay.
So he dressed like Tyrion Lannister, and this guy actually pulled a lot of ass. He walked around with a gold goblet in the leather Tyrion outfit, and just went trash to all these places, and everyone loved him. He loved getting thrown and
gotta love Santa
oh my gosh, dude. This was an exceptional little man. I'm envious of that dude.
Yeah.
That dude was the real Lannister. It was awesome. I can only imagine he dressed up for St. Patty's Day.
Right? See, I think I'm one of the only people in the world that has not watched Game of Thrones. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Well, it's not sad. Maybe you just got a life.
So, yeah, no.
Unlike me, who doesn't.
I think I caught one of the incest episodes, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm off.
Oh, the very first episode?
Yeah. Pretty sure I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know. Something about doing your sister was not really my thing, or mom, or whoever it was. But yeah, it was.
Well, it definitely made for an interesting episode twist.
Right. Yeah. And then
talk about wanting to get keyed in for the next episode. What was that?
What's going to happen next? Yeah. No. That was it. That kind of turned me off the show. And then when I was ready to kind of dive into it again, I heard the ending sucks. So I was like, oh, well, another reason.
Well, that's not a reason to completely ignore the show.
Okay.
Because I'm just a huge Game of Thrones nerd. I read the books.
Gotcha.
And they fit. And the reason why the last season sucked, is because it was really. You could tell it was really rushed.
Right.
The writing was kind of drab. The very last episode was kind of bland. Not kind of. It was fucking bland.
Right.
But the final book didn't even come out yet. The show actually surpassed the books.
Right. I heard that
by a massive amount.
Right.
And so I haven't read the final book yet.
Gotcha.
I can only imagine since it's George R. R. Martin, that's gonna be 5 times as better.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember who it was, but I believe it was somebody from the camp that was mentioning something about their mom was reading the books and would compare with the TV series and saying, "Oh, that's not right. That
might have been me."
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, very likely. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
and for anybody listening out there that doesn't know what we're talking about, the camp was the rehab me and this gentleman met at.
Yes.
We'll talk about those interesting. Let's talk about
there
those.
There was plenty of leprechauns there.
Yeah. When we say leprechauns, we mean tiny drunks.
Exactly.
Speaking of tiny drunks,
and when we say tiny pots of gold, we're talking about alcohol and booze and drugs and everything else,
painkillers,
anything you can get your hands on, basically.
Oh, yeah. I'm triggered already.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
A lot of interesting characters. But yes, it is good to be home for sure from the camp, even though there was some great experiences there.
Fantastic experiences, and it was gorgeous, too.
Yes. Cannot complain. It was, if you ever go to rehab, definitely recommend that place.
Yeah, definitely recommend. Shout out to the camp.
Absolutely.
And for anybody that feels like they need to get exterior help with an addiction problem or whatever, I'd recommend the camp.
Definitely.
It's a co-ed camp. And I got to tell you, it's frowned upon to have sexual relations with people, but people did it in the woods anyway. Like
blankets were laid out. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of sticky pages in between various books.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Silk White. Kept us all entertained. Man.
Definitely kept us all entertained.
Oh, what a great writer that guy.
So quiet. Man, no, yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like, it was funny how frowned upon like sex was, but you could definitely tell who was paired up with who.
Yes,
like it was very obvious.
There was definitely some dicking down going on.
Oh yeah, I could hear it some of the times.
You know, I can tell you from personal experience, there were a couple of girls that snuck into our cabin. Apparently, I wasn't good enough.
That shall remain nameless.
Yes, absolutely.
But we both know who.
Yes,
I think
we know who you are, and
we know who you are.
I'm still a little pissed that I didn't even get a little tug job. You know, that was kind of fucked up.
Did they at least let you watch?
No. Well, they did let me watch. I didn't want to watch because the grizzly bears that were getting it, I just didn't have any interest in being in the room with. So next time, I asked them to lay a sock on the door or something. You know, give me a heads up. But
what would you have done? Like,
I would have at least, I would have probably just gone on a hike
at night.
See
run into Zach, making Pinot in the woods.
Right, and ask him if you're still flying drones around, whatever. I'll
say his name. Fuck him.
Fuck him. Yeah, fuck Zach. Yeah, that guy was a nut job. Man.
Yeah, this guy would like steal a bunch of stuff like from people's cabins even.
Yes.
And like he hid pills in my medicine bag of all places. Like it wasn't an accident. He literally had to find my travel bag where all the toiletries are, find an empty box, and deliberately put it in there and put it back as if it was already there.
Let's talk about the fact that he broke into the medical place to steal his own medication to take them all. Like even though they would have gave him to him, and it's a voluntary place. So there's that. He's a wild one, but
wild card indeed.
Yeah, poor guy.
Always had a rip in his pants where his crotch was exposed.
Just like you don't know how the zipper works, do you?
And it wasn't really something to show off. It was like a small pond turtle trying to escape.
Didn't look. Definitely didn't look.
It was kind of in your face. You don't really have a choice to not look.
Oh man, good times.
Oh, great times. Very. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't one of those like horror story rehabs that James would.
When he had the knife, I was wondering what he was going to do with that.
Dude, when I roomed with him in the detox cabin, he would just like freaking throw it on the ground, like practicing throw knifing.
There was one guy
and he would always mumble. Like, he was a mumbler. He wasn't a talker. He was a mumbler.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late.
I'm
late. I was busy stealing from you.
To make some ghetto wine.
Pruno. He stole the whole. He would steal the bread and the sugar.
Is that just a rumor that started?
No, that was real. That was real.
I don't know if he
succeeded with it, but I know he was attempting to. I mean, the poor guy didn't even know how to make it. You only need like 1 or 2 pieces of bread. Don't ask me how I know this, but the guy stole a whole loaf, a whole bucket of sugar, all kinds of good stuff. So he was definitely a character. He'll be in a book one day. That's for sure. If he's not already.
Yeah, it's called The News for theft at a pharmacy.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, were you there for the H&I with the guy that robbed a pharmacy with the fire extinguisher? Because that was an epic story.
I'm sad that I wasn't.
Yeah, there was
a lot of great H&I speakers.
That was wonderful. That story was
So he
was
robbed
crazy.
a place with a fire extinguisher?
He was high on Xanax and blacked out, and he was at college, stole a bunch of fire extinguishers, and went and robbed a pharmacy with the fire extinguisher. So he blacked out, didn't remember any of these things, but he woke up to the police knocking on his dorm door. And he's like, yeah, come back with the warrant. So they come back with the warrant, and he wakes up and he looks on the ground, and there's a bunch of fire extinguishers laying all over the ground. And then the guy, they arrest him, and he has no idea what he's getting arrested for. He goes back into blackout mode, gets arraigned, and then they tell him that he tried to rob a pharmacy with the fire extinguisher. So yeah, it was some. Well,
when you can't
shit.
afford a gun and you're barred out, you got to get creative.
I mean,
what do I got?
This guy was, he was a polished guy, so it was just.
I've heard of guys
great.
robbing a gas station with like a stick.
Yeah, exactly.
But like a fire extinguisher,
yes,
it's at least distracting.
And I had to ask him. I said, "Well, what did you just keep going back with multiple? Why did you have more than one? Like, like, what was going on
Yeah,
there?
more than one.
Yeah. He said this whole dorm room was just filled with fire extinguishers.
He just had an arsenal of fire
Yes,
extinguishers.
he stole them all from his. Yeah, oh, it was crazy, man. Good story. He was a great guy, but Jesus, man, it was a without giving too much of his info, he was just a fucking solid dude. He had a real wild ride, man. I mean, that was just one of many. But that was probably my favorite part about being in rehab, is just hearing how crazy people are.
Dude, that was the most entertaining part.
It was some wild stories.
I loved listening to people's war stories, as we call them.
Yes.
Like just all different walks of life, some not so crazy, some like fucking insane, some right down the middle. Don't know where I fit in that category.
Right, yeah.
But like it does make you think, like, I'm glad I'm in here now before I start robbing.
I don't know about you.
Before I start robbing people with fire extinguishers.
Right. I don't know about you, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I have a little bit more in me. And then I was like, no, that's the worst thing to think, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think they call it reservations.
Yeah. Or the guy that had sex with family members.
Oh, that was a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely don't. Out of respect for everyone, and since we're both in the program, anonymity.
Yes, absolutely.
I finally could pronounce that word in the morning.
Right. No, I still struggle with it. I sound like the.
I remember when we kept trying to say anonymity in rehab.
Oh, I sound like the character from Finding Nemo every time.
I sounded like Elmer Fudd. And then or like Finding Nemo, trying to pronounce and see an enemy.
Exactly, man. Yeah, no. It was good times though, definitely. To touch on your story though, man. So how's everything been going since you've been back? You hanging in there?
Oh my gosh, Chris, you're stealing my show, bro.
Never that.
You're the captain now.
Hey, like I said, I'm always the team captain. You know that.
Yeah, you would always, whenever there was game night, you always had to be the team captain, and it always bothered me.
And the only reason why was because I didn't want to participate. So I just didn't. I liked, telling people they had to participate. You know what?
Now that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly, man. I was like, no way am I going up there.
Dude, I never understood the viewers, like, we would play games like charades and Pictionary.
Yes.
Like, but it always caught me odd, like, why people wouldn't want to participate. Like, they went out of their way not to participate.
But it's really stay there.
Like, they would just sit there.
Yeah. No.
And it would really
guilty. By the way.
Clearly. But like, does no one understand that it's a game? Oh my gosh, dude! How bloodthirsty would it? Only a room full of addicts and alcoholics can make a friendly game of charades.
Ready
like
to fight
literally
every
a
single
bloodbath.
Time.
It was
every single time.
People were seeing red.
Yes, people would actually want to fight each other after that, and we were the lighter bunch of the people.
People say Monopoly ends friendships. Dude,
I'm pretty sure charades.
You haven't lived until you played charades in a rehab.
Yes. No, it was crazy. And then you got people with Pictionary, and that were the one time one of the guys started doing sign language. That was probably still my favorite one.
I know exactly what you're talking
started
about.
Doing sign language. That was so classic to me. I was like, he really just signed everything. And, he's got tattoos on his head. He's like straight out of prison. You're thinking like, what the hell? This dude's like throwing signs up.
Oh, one of the funniest things that I will always laugh at, that I can't believe he pulled this off, but one of our best friends in there, know who I'm talking about. He would be on an opposing team and like purposely like
put a blanket
and when it was that person's turn to steal, he would sneak around, walk up to him and ask, "Wait, what was it?" And then they would tell him. Then he'd run back.
Yes, and it was
like
great.
when that charade ended, he would wear disguise. He would disguise himself with blankets.
Great times, man. Man, I miss that guy.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna shout out to him and like all the local camp buddies know exactly what we're talking about.
That brings up the next best part of that was the Wednesday night freaking open mic, man. Do you remember that?
Oh, how can I forget? I went up every single time.
Yes. Oh, that was my favorite, watching you get up there and kill it with the comedy, bro. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Aced it.
I would always go up there, do a couple of minute
counselors cringing.
Oh, no one made the counselors cringe more than I did. And I took pride in that.
You are the man. Seriously, that was fucking hilarious. You'd always wait for nope, gotta cut the mic off.
I would purposely push the edge just.
Yes.
Oh man, and I would love to, and like I did kind of get a kick out of like, let's see how quick I can.
Yes, and just get yes. I think everybody was waiting.
Sometimes they would cut me. Sometimes he would cut me off. The counselor would cut me off when I just did the setup. When I just did the setup, and I didn't get to the
opening line was just like,
and
like shit.
And like a lot of you guys, like after I'm walking off, they're like, "Hey, what was the punchline?" And then I shouted.
It's like, damn it! I took the mic off for a reason. Yes,
I could speak
great.
Loud. What was your just from an audience perspective? Because I know what my favorite one was. What was your favorite time of me getting up?
Definitely had to be the one where you the NASCAR joke, man. That was classic.
Oh, the NASCAR joke.
Yes.
Set the scene. Describe the guy.
He was just country folk. That's the best.
Stereotypical redneck looking dude.
Loved him.
Always
dude.
had a dip in his mouth. He was a fantastic guy.
And
best sense of humor. One of the best senses of humor out there.
Yes, and he. So first off, he's my buddy. When you got there, first time you got there, you had to get a buddy, right? So I was his buddy, and the guy couldn't stop shaking. Oh man, I was like, poor
I felt so bad for him. How long was he shaking?
At least a week and a half.
Over a week. When I was going through withdrawals, I was probably like that for like 4 days max.
Yeah, and when he came in, this guy was so drunk still. He's like, take me up the hill, show me around. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I could do it. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to take you up the hill, let alone you fall. I'm probably going to fall. So he's just this classic guy, just freaking, he ended up getting his cowboy hat sent in. It was great. And anyhow, he just fit the criteria, and you get up there and you tell the joke about I'll let you tell the joke, but
so the setup of the joke was so-and-so, this guy looks like he beats off to NASCAR crashes,
which I'm not certain he didn't start jacking off just thinking about NASCAR at that point.
And his nickname, we'll call him Puddin' Pop, because his nickname was Puddin' Pop, and the follow-up to that joke was there's a lot of pudding when he pops.
Yes.
And that brought the room down.
Yeah. Oh man, he was one of my favorite guys there for sure. He was an amazing guy.
His laughter brought
everybody.
Smiles.
If you heard him laugh, you couldn't help but start smiling and laughing. Didn't matter what
he was just enjoying himself. And
yes,
that's a good segue into the next topic about rehab. Let's talk about the pit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the smoke pit.
Yes.
Smoke pit is where friendships are made
and/or ended.
We'll talk about him in a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say his name.
No.
No, I'm gonna say his name.
Okay, I'm gonna refer to him as Uncle Jimmy. That's what I call him. He was the character.
Oh no, that's not the guy who I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Yeah.
Fuck,
no, we'll get to him in a second. But anyway, let's talk about the beautiful part about the pit.
Yes.
Like that is where. Honestly, I got the best therapy.
Yes,
was in
cancer.
The smoke pit.
In cancer.
Oh yeah,
sure.
just everyone was smoking cigarettes, cracking jokes, telling stories.
Yes,
so much
bonding.
Yeah, so much bonding, and it was better than what was called process group. And what process group is
right.
like you work with a counselor with a small group.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to deal with your addiction, combat, learning coping skills with your addiction, like very serious stuff. Whereas in the pit, it was more like friendly and like laughing through the pain, where we could actually look at our stories and laugh at it, make jokes about it.
Definitely.
Which is, I felt, at least for me, being an aspiring comic.
Yes.
That's
material, like a motherfucker.
Well, no, not even just material. There's a lot of that too, but also that helped me,
right?
Get comfortable.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Really look at myself and like realize like, damn, it is funny now.
Yes.
Now I know I don't want to go back there because I'll just be the fool rather than laughing at the fool.
Yes. No. I think that was one of the biggest parts that I took away from the place that we were at was just that when you're raw, unedited, and sober, it's crazy how comfortable we can get when we're around our people. You know what I mean? Like when we're around people that are just like us, that have been, I mean, they have some stories, some of them worse, some of them better, upbringings like we shared earlier. It's just,
all different backgrounds, all different walks of life.
Just a couple days in and you could just meet people and know who they are, like the real them.
And you can find something to relate about.
Yeah, no, totally. It definitely was inspiring, minus the cancer side, because I'm pretty sure we increased our chances of cancer by like 100 at least.
I've done a lot of shit in my past that I think would give me cancer than smoking.
But I don't know, man. It was something about sitting in a 5x5 area with like 20 dudes just smoking cigarettes, chain smoking,
little clown car.
right, and getting yelled at by the counselors because we weren't even supposed to be in the pit. But that didn't stop anybody. You tell addicts and alcoholics to follow rules, and we're like, we're just gonna stay sober. That's the one rule we will follow.
Right.
So. But yeah, no, it was good because I mean,
who knew that a bunch of alcoholics and addicts are going to be rebellious?
Right.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought? Right. Man. But the cool thing was that time and place. Each day it did carry on into life. Like you said, we got to meet and see people for who they are, and it was really really cool. Again, there were those. I would say two people that continuously made it awkward or made it uncomfortable. But for the most part, one of them, Uncle Jimmy, he was a good guy.
Uncle Jimmy was
he was a good guy.
Uncle Jimmy was one of my favorite people there because like it literally like Uncle Jimmy almost was like a hallucination.
Yes,
it could have been a hallucination in a movie because like. Oh my gosh, the fact that this was a real person made me so happy. Man, I loved listening to him talk.
Right. And the stories. The stories. I mean, they would start it out, hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Come here real quick.
Yo, youngster.
Hey, B, let me talk to you real quick.
He called everyone B. I thought he just called me B because my name was Brent.
Right. No.
But he called everyone B because he refused to remember people's names.
Yes, and not even refused. He renamed people. He that was one of my favorites. He just gave people new names.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Hey, Chase, Charlie, Chuck, and like that was never their name.
My name's Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Not even close.
And she'd be like, close enough.
Close enough. Exactly. And he was endearing in his own way, but guy was something else.
When he wanted to be serious and actually thoughtful.
Yeah.
Like
he had some gems.
He had some humility to him.
Yes. Yeah.
And my favorite thing about him was his sense of humor.
Yes.
He had a really dark sense of humor, and I love people that have dark senses of humor. But that's one of the because all the women would complain about him a lot.
Well, I don't know why.
Well, I know why.
Maybe because he didn't hold back.
No. That's the things that I liked that we all liked about him. At least all the guys liked about him.
Definitely.
But but it was just kind of a shame that. A lot of the ladies didn't see the side that we usually always got to see,
yes.
in the smoke.
Yeah,
when he's in the smoke pit, when he wants to get serious.
Right.
He had a lot of down to earth moments.
Let's talk about the chess game that I was playing against him, and things got a little tense there. Oh man, freaking! But I loved it. Right after that, he came out to the smoke pit, had a conversation with me, and he's just like, "Look, man, basically, just for the viewers, he was lurking over what's called a quiet game, or at least in my mind would be a quiet game, and just feedback. Every single time. Except it wasn't feedback. It was like, that was a terrible move.
Yeah, he would just stand over who was playing
that's
chess.
What you're doing?
Remember right when you made a move?
Yeah.
Kick a move, he'd just be like,
you did that? Damn. I'm like, dude, it was the first move. I moved a pawn. Like, what could I have done?
I'll be honest. When you're playing the game, it's kind of irritating. Now I look back at it, I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh no, it was. I was just having a bad day. But he, back to the cool thing about him and why I still refer to him as Uncle Jimmy is because he
that's
came
a good
out,
nickname for him for the show. Uncle Jimmy.
He followed
Spread
me
the
out.
legend of Uncle Jimmy.
Absolutely, followed me out to the smoke pit. I was just trying to distract myself, just trying to get away, and he sat there quietly. That's not a normal thing for him, and he sat there quietly, and he's just like, "Hey B, you can't be so distracted by stuff, man. you out there in the real world, things are gonna be distracting. Da, 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 da. And he's just spitting them gems, and it was good, and it was good. And I realized that
he really did have like an old man kind of street wisdom to
right
him. Like a very because he is from he's been to every single side of the streets you could imagine, from like East Coast to the West Coast.
Shout out to his retirement though.
Shout out to his retirement. I hope you're living well up there.
Yes, definitely.
He's definitely not going to hear this.
I don't know if he knows how to use a computer.
I don't think he owns a
computer. But yes, man, he was a solid soul. Like I love that guy, and
he'll always have a place in my heart, and obviously a place in my memory. He was my roommate.
Right. Oh man.
Imagine rooming with him.
Shit, he did not like the way you did laundry, or did not do laundry.
Oh no, he would give me shit all the time.
He comes up to me, hey, you need to check your boy. And I'm like thinking like, what's he talking about? I'm like, what did Brent do now? Like, I'm like, oh fuck. This is the second person now that's like talking about Brent getting into him with him. I'm like, what is he doing?
The second?
Well, Aaron,
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him in a minute.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Oh, I'm gonna talk some shit.
But yeah, so he comes up to me. I'm like, oh shit, what did he do? I'm like, Buda, you're the fucking funniest guy. I don't know why. I'm thinking like he made a joke or whatever. He goes, that man need to wash his pants. I'm like, what? I'm like, he's like, yeah, he be wearing the same fucking pants. He need to change his pants. I can't do it. I'm like, Uncle Jimmy, why you telling me? He's like, that's your boy, bro. I know that's your boy.
I only brought 3 pairs of pants.
And I
did do my laundry, not like every week, I'll admit it.
Right.
But I did do laundry. But he was under the impression I never did laundry.
Man, I felt like
I had to
get that boy some laundry soap, do something for your boy. I was like, I can't do it. It's not.
I felt like I had to make sure that he followed me in the laundry room so he could
look. I'm washing my clothes. It was good times.
I did wash my clothes, and I only wore 3 pairs of pants.
And it was funny. The very first experience I had with him, he walks up. So we're in detox together. He comes up to me and he goes, hey, you need anything, I got you. And I'm like, need anything? Like, I'm in rehab. I think I got everything taken care of. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you did that with every single newcomer.
Right. Followed by, same day. Hey, B, you think you can order me some socks? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, my girl didn't pack me some socks. And I was like, what? Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. He's like, just let me know the price. I like them long cut white socks. And I'm like, okay, all right, I can do that. I got you. So I order these socks, man. And of course, it takes a week for them to get here. I don't know what Amazon was on, but it was, I finally get him his socks, and he's just so appreciative. And, he wore those socks. And it was cool. Cool. So if I ever get his address,
that is a spot-on impression of Uncle Jimmy, though.
Yes.
Hey, B, let me tell you something about the tenderloin.
The tenderloin, man.
Don't ever stop talking about the tenderloin.
I don't think I will ever go to the tenderloin. I might go just to see if, to make sure he's not there. But yeah.
I'm definitely not setting foot in Fresno.
Oh shit, man. Fresno is not so. Well, it's pretty fucking bad.
It's bad. No,
I have family from Fresno.
Packing up and leaving Fresno is the best thing about Fresno.
But there's good things that come from Fresno. Those that leave.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. Fresno is a whole different story. No, Fresno holds a little part in my heart because, like I said, I got family that's where my origins, my roots come from.
Well, by all means, love and respect the people. You don't have to love and respect the city.
Right. No. Yes.
The city is not a reflection of your family.
That's like my hometown. I'm never going back. I had somebody reach out to me the other day, and they were like, "Hey, blah blah blah," about the town that I lived in, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I've been out of there for 15 years. I'm not going back." And it was
everyone weird. That leaves Fresno.
Well, I'm not from Fresno, but I'm from a small town that was very similar to Fresno.
Stockton?
No. It was actually, I shouldn't say it was more of a suburb than it was like Fresno. Right. So it'd be more like a Visalia kind of thing. But it just was, when you leave a small town, unless you're a country star, you don't go back.
Tell me about it. I'm from Chico.
That's another shithole. I love Chico. I was just in Chico.
Now it is, but
I can tell you the Tender Girls are on there. So I got probably about 15 matches just in my 2 hours that I was in Chico.
Oh yeah, there's some hoes out there for sure.
Yes, and I love them. I love them all. So
no disrespect to the hoes. I love them. I love the hoes. They do shit. They will do shit to you that the girl you bring home to meet your mom will never do.
I mean, shit.
Unless you get like a very down.
Sometimes they make you wonder if it's okay. So for me, that topic of meeting mom, that's not going to happen for me for a very long time. Unfortunately, the divorce thing kind of tainted that. I'm over monogamous relationships. So shout out to all the ladies out there. I'm single and I'm looking for fun. Except for anybody that I am talking to now, don't listen to what I just said. But wait, yes, sir.
No, yeah. Shout out to all the ladies out there. I am single as well.
Yes,
the host of the show.
He probably will remain that way.
Fuck yourself.
Love you, Buda. Oh, speaking of, so there was a guy. I brought this up to you when we were there because when we weren't in the smoke pit, you and I were constantly playing chess.
Playing chess, talking about writing projects.
Writing and all that good stuff. And one of the new guys, I was also his buddy. He was on detox way too long. So when he finally got his life back, I was showing him around a little bit. And he comes in, and after me showing him around, and he comes in, and he looks at us, doesn't say anything. Buda and I, we have like that little dark sense of humor plus the banter between the two of us. So one of us had made a comment about someone being the house bitch. And so this guy, this guy waits till Buda leaves, and he goes, when Buda was here, I thought you guys were gay. And I was like, what? And he's like,
believe it or not, that's not the first time someone thought I was gay.
I was like, wait a minute.
He's like, be the last.
He's like, yeah, I thought you guys were lovers. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I didn't know what I walked into. This is rehab. I didn't know this is my first time in rehab. I didn't know what the fuck to think. You guys were always hanging out together. And I was like, bro, you thought I was gay? And he's like, and then for like 2 hours, this guy's trying to like, oh, I don't think you're gay now. You probably get all these girls. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not tripping on it either which way.
You were bi.
No, either which way. No, actually, another one of our friends still thinks you're bi. By the way,
what?
Yes, I'll tell you after the episode who. But yes, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, dude.
Male or female?
It's a male. And, well, a female also, but it's all good, Buda. Whatever, dude. Whatever you're doing.
What is it about me that people think because that's been happening since high school.
Hey, you know what, Buda?
Well, I mean, in high school I was in a theater, so like that's not a big mystery.
Maybe you're into dudes. Who knows? Or maybe dudes are into you. I don't know. Either which way, someone was entering something.
Is it the way I walk? Is it because I wear leather?
It might have been that joke about the piercings on your nipples. I don't know.
Man, people are so uptight. Does people not realize these are jokes?
Well, unlike you, my asshole is still tight.
Oh, fuck yourself.
But
sit on keys one time.
Oh man, yeah, I forget where I was going with any of this stuff. So, but
someone thought I was. Thought we were gay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he spent hours trying to convince me, and he's like, oh, and if you were, it didn't matter. I'm like, I'm not gay. Like let's be honest. Just at the end of the day, none of that fucking bothers me. Whatever happens in your bedroom is great. Good for you. I hope it's fucking
even
awesome.
In that moment, I still think it was funny.
Yeah, no, and I was tempted to like start like playing with him, messing with him. But anyhow,
I think it's because I also did a lot of joking around where I did a stellar gay voice impression, like, "Hey guys."
I mean, your normal voice is pretty gay, so that kind of, no, I'm
low
just kidding.
Blow.
No, I'm just kidding, Buddha. No, I love you, bro. It's yeah. It was fun though. Yeah. Shout out to all of those that are still there recovering.
If someone that never knew us thought that we were gay, I would definitely.
I would definitely
look like the bitch.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
It's just like I'm
the picture for sure.
No, well, it's just because I'm thin, and I'm shorter than you, so like it wouldn't. So I could definitely.
Hey, you know what? It's all right. I think I'm still pretty. So. Oh man, no. Shout out to all the LGBTQ plus community, man. I love all you guys. Fucking A. I'm owning your podcast over here, aren't I?
Maybe you are gay.
Hey, no. My brother's gay actually. He's gay. It's. I got a funny story about my brother. So. I didn't meet him until I was 12 years old, and he called my phone, and he had the same name as my dad, right? We had house phones. I know your you're probably like, what the fuck is a house phone?
No, I know what a house phone is.
I grew up with what are you? Generation Y? What are you?
I don't fucking know.
I call you guys Generation WHY. Like why? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? But no.
That's actually very fair because like I'm an outcast of my own generation. I hate my own generation sometimes.
But yeah, so the house phone rings. It's like 9:00 at night. That's whenever the house phone rings past 8 at that time. It was either for my sister or I, right? And I answer the phone. The person on the other end says, "Hey, is such and such there?" Names my dad, and I go, yeah, like thinking to myself, who the hell would call, my dad has a cell phone, like why wouldn't they call his phone or work phone or whatever? And then he repeats his name and says, I'm his son. And I'm like, what? I'm like, hey, Dad, your son's on the phone. I'm like an asshole about it because,
right.
I'm the only one in the family that apparently didn't know this little secret. And so fast forward, I'm excited. I'm like, hell yeah, I always wanted an older brother, right? And he comes to visit, and he's definitely, he's not what I was expecting for an older brother. And so I remember being hella ignorant, and I was like,
how old were you at the time?
Oh, I was 12.
12.
12 in a small town, military family. So, all those bullshit excuses, but
adds up to the ignorance.
Yeah.
Well, you're 12 years old.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyways, so, I mean, it was what it was. But I was like, I remember saying to my sister, this is bullshit. I asked for an older brother, not an older sister. I already had one of those. Right? And shout out to my brother. I love you. You are fucking awesome. And, and you are just the fucking one of, by the way, pulls the most girls. When I was living in San Diego, I was so confused because he was gay, but like he was getting girls left and right. And I'm like, what is the deal? Well, like, what is the deal?
He's gay.
No, but he was
threatening.
But like he was like flirting with them, like, and he would like get them, and I was so confused. At that point, I was like 19. With it, or no,
gay guy banter when they're talking with women.
Yeah,
can come off as flirty to an outside source.
Totally.
They,
and they
probably
come from good genes. So
we're like talking to them. It's just like, I really like that dress. You probably just genuinely really like that dress.
Yeah, no, and it was just cool. But it was cool. He's awesome. I got to go visit him soon. We're actually thinking about taking a brother trip out to Africa together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we have some family that moved out of New York to Africa, and they're working out of Africa, just building up a community and all kinds of cool, really awesome stuff.
I've always wanted to go to Africa.
Ghana. Yeah, hey, you're welcome to roll, man. Honestly,
oh my gosh, that'd be great.
The flights and stuff right now are cheap with all the COVID shit going on. Just gotta have your ticket. I mean, your shot and all that stuff. But
yeah, I'll dress in like drab clothing.
Hey, dude, they'll think you're Jesus. It'll be cool.
No, I'll dress in drab clothing. You guys wear a bunch of diamonds, so you think you brought over a white slave.
Yes, no. Well, they'll think you're like a music producer or something, or we can, who
the
knows?
Way I dress.
Well, no, bro. So our buddy, one of the guys that played the guitar at the camp, he was telling me a story about when he went over there and he played the guitar and sing for them, and they were just like so in awe. So it's I'm excited about the experience.
Yeah, that's one of the places on the earth that I've always wanted to travel to since I was a kid, just because like the wildlife that's over there. I would like to go, nature watching.
Yeah, and I know you're referring to the people, but there are also animals too.
I'm
fucking
yourself.
racist.
I am talking about the animals.
No, I'm kidding, you fucking racist. No.
Better set up with... No, I'm not even going to make that joke.
Just a heads up to anybody that's listening, I am half black, and he told me black people were not allowed at his podcast when I got here. So
that was a joke. They don't let outside people in here because of COVID.
I was very scared. That was
supposed to be a private joke between friends. Now people are going to think I'm an asshole.
No. He's not an asshole. He definitely, he's been fucked by
cat's out of the
bag.
Well, cat's out of the bag.
Did you catch that last one there? No. Anyhow, but that trip, I'm excited about that, man. Super excited. I'm hoping to do it for my birthday towards the end of the year, just to get out of the country, get out of my head, get out of space. You know what's something I didn't realize over there that was brought to my attention at the rehab was that alcohol and things like that are a problem over there too. And like
in Africa?
Yeah. Like
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Actually.
And it's some crazy sad stories. Like people like abandon their kids and just like run off. I mean, people
that's
here run off, but like
that's also
there,
not just
it's
an African problem. That's just
No,
alcohol.
I know,
That's
I
just
know,
like
it's
alcohol in general.
Yeah, the disease is real. That's what I guess where I was
it's
going
all
with
over
it.
the.
And
It's all over the
global.
world. Dude.
Yeah,
It's very
totally.
global.
And
Like addiction in and of itself, just as a broad term, is
Yeah.
global.
Yes, but so the other side of my family is German, right? So alcoholism is a little different there, right? They start kids
Well,
off.
it's celebrated. You ever hear of Oktoberfest?
Yes, of course. But the thing is, for Europe, they have lower rates of like toxic alcoholism because they're less benders, they're less binge drinkers, they're just they just drink. They're more functional alcoholics, or at least from my understanding. I could be completely wrong, but from my understanding, it's a little bit less toxic compared to here in the U.S.
I don't know if I would say that it's less toxic.
I know that they have, from my understanding, and again, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, they're
Also, the drinking age is very different than our
right,
own.
and their programs, the way that they have it, the healthcare system is different. That's a whole different
Yeah, the metric system.
Yeah,
exactly.
in its own. But yeah, no, it's the metric system.
Yeah, metric system.
Yeah, they don't have, what is it? Oh shit, I'm gonna sound stupid. They don't have leaders. They have what? No,
Kings and queens, monarchy.
Yeah, exactly. I was meaning leaders like the bottles of alcohol. But yes.
Oh, I thought you said leaders.
Those two.
No, king size. That's American.
Yeah. Exactly.
That'd be funny if since it's king size like over here in America, that'd be funny if you go over there and it's the presidential. You want the presidential?
You want the presidential size?
It's like a big gulp.
You want the oh shit, the vice president size, whatever. Yeah, that's funny.
You get the Speaker of the House. It's a sippy cup.
Exactly. Fucking A, man.
Oh man.
Good times though. We did not stay on any topics, did we?
Well, that's the thing. We just kind of let it. I like to let it flow. Yeah,
Right on.
And we got to a lot of interesting ground.
Yes.
But
yes.
there's also something I wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
But back to the rehab stories.
Okay.
How insane? Because I brought this up a little bit on the last episode, but didn't really go into
Shout
it
out
very
Luke.
thoroughly. Yeah. Shout out to Luke Estrada.
Yes, sir. My man.
Yeah, he's gonna be a reoccurring guest here.
Yes, love that guy.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yes, he's a fucking bearded wolf.
Yeah, bearded wolf.
He's a monster.
He is a different breed of animal.
Yeah.
But like, how insane was it that we're all supposed to be adults and the drama that ensued, like with people. It wasn't so much like I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but it really clearly didn't happen a lot with around the guys.
Sure.
Except for one person.
Yes. Oh, fuck.
And let's talk about that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah. This
no,
guy,
wish him the best in sobriety and in life, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, but fuck this guy. We'll call him A-Rod.
A-Rod. Okay, cool.
Because A-Rod was an asshole anyway.
Yes. Well,
I'm a Yankee fan, so A-Rod sucked in my opinion.
If fucking A, Jennifer Lopez was one of my first crushes. Anyhow, but no, A-Rod from the camp. What a
she
fucking
obviously
tool.
Had low standards.
The guy was a tool. I mean, he didn't take sobriety, in my opinion. He didn't take sobriety.
Everyone did not like. A lot of people did not like this kid. He just was very obnoxious.
I got along with 99% of the people there, right? To include techs, doctors, whatever.
Oh yeah, me too. I got along with pretty much everybody. You're in the same boat.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, it speaks about it in the traditions. That personalities, that it's the program over personalities, etc. Obviously that's not verbatim, but with him, we just, he came in reggae style. It was awesome. Thought he was like a kind of cool guy.
He seemed like a chill surfer dude for the first week.
Yeah,
no problems with anybody. Everyone thought he was all right.
And then his personality came, and it was kind of one of those people that you're like, God, I wish you could just give him a drink because he would probably be a decent guy. but like, fuck, dude, this guy was such a douche, and
a douche, and like not even like a stereotypical douche, like someone that's like moderately good,
like I said,
or like flamboyant, or like showing off. But he was showing off, but like in just the worst possible ways.
Yeah, he wanted it to be the A-Rod show, like every time. A speaker was in there. You know, it was disruption after disruption.
Yeah.
Storming out of like, oh my gosh.
When things didn't go his way, he would storm out of meetings.
Like a real fit. It was crazy.
Honestly, do you remember, and back to charades, remember that one time where this guy that we love, we call him L.
Yes.
His A-Rod had a streak of, this is A-Rod in our rehab, he had a streak of rage quitting on game nights.
Yes.
And so when he went
don't play.
when he went up to Pictionary, he started drawing, and on our side, L, he shouted out, it's a quitter. It's a quitter.
and then what did he do? He quit.
And then he actually quit, ran up and pretended to go outside to buy a soda.
Yes, angrily bought a soda and then came back in. I didn't quit, and then quit again.
You know what was funny? God. I think he heard me because when he walked right past me.
Yeah.
I was talking to L.
Yeah.
And I was laughing with him, but as soon as he left, I think he overheard me saying, hey, watch him try to, pretend he's going to buy him soda.
Yes.
And, I look behind him, he's like, hey, Buda, look. And he's actually trying to buy
a soda. He bought a soda, and then he came back inside and refused to play, though.
Yeah, refused to play. Yeah, what really irritated me was, I guess, because I had a joking nature and I always did stand-up, so he he thought I was the one that said it, which I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because the guy that said it is, 6 foot fucking something.
Yeah.
Like a total,
bodybuilder.
Has a low, man fucking voice.
You didn't want to fuck with this guy.
And I obviously, apparently, I sound gay. So I got a very high voice. And, but he walks up behind me, taps me on the shoulder, he's like, hey, were you the one that said that quitter comment?
Oh my god. I wanted to slap him right there. I just wanted to slap him in the face.
And I was just I was like, no, dude, I didn't.
The guy was just such a clown.
Oh yeah, total clown.
It was, it was good though. For me, it was good to experience that because that change of, realizing I'm not going to get along with everybody, even sober. I've been in my share of fights and whatnot from drinking and drugging and all that good stuff, but being sober. And having that experience let me rewind a little bit. One point I pulled him aside to have a conversation with him. We're walking towards the nurse station and I say, hey man, I just take this stuff really serious. I'm working my program. This is life or death for me. And he agreed with that and apologized, and then as I'm walking away starts saying, hey, don't fucking be a bully to me anymore. So I turn around.
He always said he got bullied all the time when really
I turn around and he's kind of halfway in the nurse station, halfway out, and of course there's this super buff nurse there, right? A dude nurse.
I know who you're
super
talking about.
Buff, yeah. And he I go over there what the fuck are you talking about? We just squashed this shit. What are you talking about? And the male nurse is you gotta go, go separate your ways. And the girl nurse, which was super cute, shout out to you. And she's like, why is he being such a little bitch? I was like, I don't know.
She said
that straight to me. And I was like,
if it's the same nurse, I think we're talking about. Yeah. She's a gangster.
Yes. So
she's home.
It was funny. It was funny because the poor kid had probably been pulled aside by every single dude and a couple of the girls to chill out, just relax. Be you, but just don't be you.
Yeah, exactly. Dial it down.
Yeah, just try your hardest to just fit in a little bit. It's one thing to stand out for good reasons, and it's another thing to be that kid begging for attention.
That dude was literally like a walking temper tantrum.
Yes.
He wouldn't get he would throw fits.
Yes.
Like a spoiled tween that has a rich daddy that just doesn't get that pony she wants for Christmas or something.
My favorite,
throw the same tantrums.
My favorite part was he shared his story to the group. Right, first
my gosh,
volunteers to share his story.
How cringy was that?
Yes, the counselor's like, fuck, I guess, okay, we'll see what happens, but all right, I guess you can share. Dude starts sharing his story and starts sharing parts of everybody else's story in his story. And we're like, what? No, that's not your story. We just heard that story. And then on top of that, he goes, I was so poor. My grandma bought me an apartment to live in. I was like, I don't think this guy knows what poor is.
No. Yeah, definitely.
But, whatever. Like I said before, man, I wish the guy best of luck in life and sobriety.
If that's poverty, I'm below poverty at that point.
Right. You know what I mean? Fucking A. I don't even know what to call myself. It's fucking, but, things are good. I really do wish him the best of luck.
No, yeah. All this aside, like everyone had a raw deal getting in there. Like we all came from like our life wasn't going well.
Right. There was
before we ended up in there.
Yeah.
So I do have sympathy for A-Rod, but it just like at the time, it was just it was frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. At the time, it was frustrating.
Yeah.
And one of the most frustrating things. Let's just say one more thing about him. Like, when he's talking about his story? Like I remember we're at the volleyball courts and everyone's just like tanning, and he's talking about like all the wounds he got. It's just like people wouldn't know to look at me, but I'm tough. Like I'm really fucking tough. And then a week later, he like sprains or breaks his wrist from clapping his hands.
Yes, sprained his wrist from clapping.
You're a manly man, aren't you?
Oh my gosh! Like again, I'll add one more little bit on him. He at his little graduation thing. People were giving him hugs. He's like, "Oh, my nerves, my pinched nerves." And I'm like, "Dude, why are you accepting hugs? Just do handshakes." But oh man, it was fucking classic.
He might break his wrist.
Fucking A. The guy was something else.
But
one out of a good group of people that he I felt for the guy. I really
I feel for the guy too. I don't hate him. I don't have any hatred.
It was hard not to. Try to, you really have to try not to hate the guy.
No, yeah, but I don't really hate anybody, but he got on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of it, but
quite a bit. But a shout out to him. Like I hope he keeps it together.
Definitely keep it together. Keep
and,
that. Hopefully,
I got sympathy for the guy.
Definitely. And like I said, man, I know he got out like right after I did, and I really hope he's doing well. Hopefully, he doesn't. He was in some hardcore shit, so hopefully he doesn't get back into that stuff. And but yeah, bro, fucking the rehab was filled with characters. You were talking about drama a minute ago.
Yeah,
there was. So this is a sexless place, right? Or at least it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, on the surface it was, but below.
Shout out to
there were people sneaking in each other's cabins
at the camp, man.
Yeah,
I recall just I still have nightmares of it.
Oh, I recall
getting screamed at as the whole pit just stares me down.
I was in that pit,
and I'm just looking at this person like, what in the world is going on? If this little girl does not get out of my face, mind you, this is not a little girl. This is a grown woman,
who is in fact little.
Yes, she's the homie, and
she is I love her. Homie. I know you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Much love to her, but like at the time, it was just kind of like
shout out to my real Buda. She's doing well. I'm happy I talked to her, and she's doing good.
That's good.
But yeah.
But like watching that incident go down, it was like literally, it was like the same as watching Snooki on fucking Jersey Shore, losing her shit because she can't find her cell phone.
Man,
That's not why this person freaked out, but it was like that same reaction.
Golly, I kid you not. And then having the counselor come up to me afterwards. What'd you say to her? What'd you say? I'm like, literally, the only thing I could say was, please check yourself. If you'd like to have an adult conversation, let's talk. But the voice was just screaming in my face. Oh my gosh, man. Like, it was not, I don't think there was a single dull moment at rehab. And that was kind of fun, again.
There actually really wasn't. There was like a lot to
a lot of drama.
There was a lot of drama. Then there was a lot of camaraderie, like amongst each other.
Yeah,
like a lot of people got close with everybody, and everyone played games and just talked about stuff on the outside, dreams, ambitions, goals, right.
And talent, man. There was so much talent in that building. Like, I mean, so many people, you included, were just filled with talent. I didn't go and do anything on stage or anything like that, but man, right. I enjoyed.
There's a lot of
open mics.
There's a lot of people, a lot of songwriters doing original songs. Yes,
and like good lyrics and good skills on the guitar and the just raw talent. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the one girl that took off running.
My gosh. I brought that up in the last episode too.
Yes. Oh my god.
There was a girl. There was a girl that literally made a jailbreak.
I'm watching this girl
out of the fence and just like almost got hit by oncoming traffic.
Yes.
Right?
So I'm watching this girl And, it's right before a new group's about to start. I'm at the top of the hill. She's halfway down the hill at this point, and she's bolting it. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, she's just late. I'm like, what's she late for? What's going on down there? I'm like, I don't even know what group is down there, right? And so I'm looking at her, and she's just full-blown speeding. And she's short. She's like just little young girl, and she's bolting. And I'm like, is she running? She's actually running. And then it turns out, yeah, she ran. She jumped the fence, almost got hit by a car, jumped in a stranger's car, and just took off, man. I was like, this is the most insane shit I've seen. And I don't know if you were there for this, but after, at some point, because the kids were next to us, right?
The adolescents.
Yes, yeah, which we weren't allowed to interact with.
From a bad history.
Right.
Which, quite frankly, I didn't really care to interact with.
Right, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, they always ask for cigarettes anyhow.
Yeah.
In the gym, there was a note left, hey, buy us a pack of cigarettes, we'll leave money. Weirdos, right? But there was one day...
Well, enough people in the adult already acted like children.
Exactly. We look over because we can see their cabins, and there's a kid climbing onto the roof, and then he climbs up and he's looking around, and then he finally jumps off, and we're like, what the fuck are we watching right now? Meanwhile, there's two adult counselors just looking at him like, okay, like not even reacting, not on the mic or anything.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah, it's just like, oh my gosh, dude, it was
I know, because
never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. It was kind of crazy that the girl that that first made a break for it. Yeah. She was in the adult. She was with us. She was in the adult part of the camp.
Abandoned all baggage, and everything.
I know, but and Luke brought this up, and it's a very good point. Like, you could just leave.
That is the part
that check yourself out if you don't want to be there anymore. It's not a prison.
You can tell them. Yeah, you could just straight up say, "Hey, I'm gonna leave," and then you can leave.
And you get signed out. They give you all your shit back.
Exactly. Oh man, it was the funniest thing I've ever witnessed.
I didn't even see this go down. Did she even have any of her stuff?
She had nothing with her, bro. She clothes on her back.
She brought a guitar.
Her bags. I mean, she abandoned all ship. And I mean, on the non-funny part of it, that's how serious the addiction stuff is.
No, like, you'll leave behind all your worldly possessions.
But it was just. But if you could have seen this, it was a scene out of a movie for sure. Like,
I can paint a picture.
It was great. It was great. But yeah, no, I wish her the best as well. I heard.
Yeah, good luck to her.
Yeah, but fuck, man, it was good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk to you about your writing project that you got going on. So you got a book that you're
working on a novel.
Working on it.
Yeah.
And what is the title of the book?
It's called The Revert.
The Revert.
Yes, sir.
And let's give the audience a little bit of a summary about it.
Yeah.
What's the premise? What's it about?
Definitely. It's like a power versus love struggle. There's a main character who is in love with this girl. They're both from a foreign country. The main character is adopted into a military family and raised in America. And then he meets this girl that's also from his home country, and they pretty much are friends through elementary into middle school. Then they start dating, and this girl's dad is they were basically, I don't know, refugees isn't the correct term, but they ran from the country. They fled from the country because the father had killed what's called a sheik. Sheiks had killed one,
and the characters are like Muslim.
Right. Yes. Right. Well, he's raised Christian in America. The main character is.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a premise of the book. It's
right.
Like a confliction between faith and love.
Exactly. Yeah. So when they're older, right? They're seniors in high school, just getting ready for graduation, and her father, the sheik's nephew, flies down and comes to America, finds them, and guns down her father. And at that point, it's too much for her to deal with, so she breaks up with the dude. And so the dude vows a vengeance, right, to get her back. As he does that, he flies back to that country, and when he does that, he starts, climbing up into power of the country. And so he's like trying to get back to her, and he keeps putting it off. And so it's like this little love story that, he's always referring to her in his like thoughts, and and he actually falls under the power of one of the guys there, and ends up, without giving too much of the story away, climbs to power, and so I'm still working on it. Still,
and he basically becomes
yeah,
the
he
evil
becomes
that he's fighting.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
he
kind of like the Godfather kind of story.
Yeah, exactly.
Very similar character arc.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and while he's at school, like when he's younger, he's kind of he's being molded to be this like militant dude for the U.S. government. So he's doing like a little bit of the dirty work, and so like that's kind of like the ending part is like he's got all these like CIA ties and things like that. That's kind of how he gets put into a position of power over there. So there's a lot of details I'm still working out, but there's some good character development going on right now. And you gave me some feedback on some chapters that I've shared with you, and
Absolutely.
I definitely will get you some more.
But definitely I would like to be involved some way.
It's definitely I'm trying to get a little bit juicier. One of the girls that I've had read it, that's kind of been a little bit of an inspiration to it, she's telling me I need some sex scenes in there, so I got to work on those.
You got to draw an audience in.
Right, exactly.
Especially especially if there's romance in it. There's got to be And the scenes don't have to be explicit,
right? And
not like Silk White, like you're fucking a chick's mouth at 100 miles per hour,
right? yeah. But no, so I'm working on that part, and I'm trying to, I've got this concept where I'm thinking the book 2 part is going to be her version of it, right? And like so, it's going to kind of go more in depth of her side of the things. And so I'm trying to really work on the voice of her. One thing that I'm really intertwining when it comes to the character of her, and I refer to her as her because she's a compilation of like women throughout my life, plus the struggles that I've had with alcohol and drugs, like the addiction part of that, the love part of that came from that, the pain, agony, all that good stuff.
No, that's actually very poetic.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah,
so it's got like personal symbolism to the character.
Exactly. So it's trying to feed that in there, and it's been fun. I have a bunch of journals that I need to, not necessarily journals, but books that I need to type up and add into there to add some more chapters. But I've got a good significant amount. I have a publisher looking at it right now, kind of going over it. Editor, not publisher. But yeah, working on that and just diving into that, man. It's been a fun project. Nowhere near to the finish, but I do have kind of a final chapter in mind. So that's good. And it's freaking awesome.
All right, we'll have to look for that. When it's out there, maybe we can figure out how to get it on Amazon. And what is the title again?
It's called The Revert.
It's called The Revert.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
So audiences, look out for the book called The Revert. Probably coming probably within a
within a year.
Within a year,
definitely. Yeah. At least the first edition. Yeah,
the first edition for sure.
Yeah. So it'll be good. It's been a passion project of mine, and it's been fun getting creative and channeling my old energy into something new.
Right.
It's been keeping me busy.
Definitely, that's what I've been doing with like my writing stuff and writing jokes, and keep yourself busy, sober, and also like working at using it as a reflection.
Yeah.
To deal with your past addiction.
Definitely.
Take all that negative like energy and put it in something positive and constructive.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's been fun. Another smaller project that is just kind of, for me, I not only do I deal with the alcoholism and addiction side of things, but I deal with the mental health, right? Like that's a strong, I'm an advocate for that. I love.
Definitely a strong component for, addiction.
Exactly.
Well.
They go hand in hand.
I can relate. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm writing a kid's book that it's called Manny the Crab, right? And it's about this crab who is a manic depressive, hence the name Manny the Crab, right? And he's going to try to make friends. And he's having trouble with making friends, and then he learns to love himself. And so like the final page of this kid's book is this crab staring at a reflection of himself, and he's smiling in the reflection. So he makes friends with himself ultimately and learns to love himself. So that's another little project that should be done within the next couple of months.
That's a really nice children's book.
Yeah, I figure it's like an adult children's book. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you tackle mental health, but it also allows anybody to
it's really for all ages.
Right.
In that sense.
Yeah, definitely. And that to me, depression was a big key factor for the alcohol use and the drug use that I've had in the past. So, shedding light on that is one of my goals. Oh, I forgot to mention in the revert, I try to touch little pieces on all of today's modern scenarios to include,
like discrimination,
but I try
internal conflict, external conflict, and whether it's politics and religion. Religion's like a definitely
my
it's always been a big issue for centuries. Actually, when you really think about it.
Of course, yeah. My goal is to allow, no matter what side you're on, whether it's like you're on the far right or far left, to be able to relate to the book in some facet. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have a piece of the book that still shares like Blue Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter or whatever, all those little bits and pieces. I want it to be able to have at least a little bit of that in there so that it can be relatable to the audience, any of the audience, opening up that it's not, because one of my major, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the biggest things I'm trying to capture in this book is that with the religion aspect is how similar a lot of religions are. And so you'll find throughout the book that there will be little bits of scripture, but it may be from the Quran, it may be from the Bible, it may be from the Torah, and obviously the Torah is the beginning of the Bible, so that's easy enough. But like, there's going to be little bits of that throughout the book, and it's up to the reader to piece that together and see.
That's actually very creative, and I really that makes me even more excited to read the book, and that's also a really good way to get a broader audience where there's a little bit in it for everyone, where their political or religious affiliations lie.
Exactly.
That's very thought-provoking, and that makes me really excited to read it.
Definitely, yeah. It's been something that, like I said, I've been... Excuse me.
Yeah, and it's it's a really good social commentary with action, romance.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, with this freaking COVID thing.
Also philosophy.
With this COVID thing, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of that in there.
There has been.
Yeah.
Like if you've watched the news or gone outside.
Yeah. I mean, it's a interesting world we're living in, and if I can tap in on just little bits of it, of the world that we're living in now. I'm hoping to make it something that can be ongoing, something that when readers look back, they're like, man, I remember that, or whatever change comes from it, or whatever that looks like in the future, that it's still, a good book, something that they can still pick up and be like, oh man, I remember living in that time and during those moments. So, yeah. But that's me, man.
All the power to you. I can't wait to read more of it. I can't wait for the book to...
We will definitely be collabing, and I will definitely be picking your brain.
So shout out to the Revert.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Before we end the podcast, I also wanted to ask, how shitty is it that, at least in Midtown, we're in Midtown Sacramento, and it's St.Patricks Day.
Yes, sir.
There are Irish pubs and just bars with deals in your face
God.
And you want to go in there for the bar food and the appetizer, but it's just not worth the roll of the dice.
Yes, no. It's,
I'm nearly 2 months sober.
Right. So it's funny you say that. So I came home. My sister had been staying in my apartment, and I came home to a bottle of vodka in my freezer, and I had to go get it out of my house right away, right? And then, of course, the second week I'm here, it is St. Patty's Day, and I'm getting all these Facebook requests or
Instagram's
mentions
loaded with that. I'm trying
bar crawls and da 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 da, and old friends like, hey, what are you gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I'm gonna dress in green, and I'm gonna go to a meeting. So. But honestly, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about learning how to celebrate sober. And one thing I experienced yesterday, I got together with another friend of mine, and he's a drinker. He's a heavy drinker. He's what we in the recovery world we would call like a functioning alcoholic, right? He's got a share of dysfunction, but that probably gets handled if he quit drinking.
That usually comes with
right. But at the end of the day, there's no financial issues, there's no legal issues, things like that. So functioning. And I was around him, and he was drinking, and I didn't feel triggered. I didn't feel like I needed to have a drink with him or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what has been kind of harder for me is pot. In California, it's legal and everybody smokes and it's everywhere and I'm getting, text messages even though I unsubscribed.
You walk around Midtown around here, you could smell it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And shout out to...
I went into a smoke shop not too long ago because I was looking to get more juice for my event and I didn't know the area. This is like the first day I moved in here, so I'm getting to know the area. I've never spent that much time in Midtown.
Definitely.
And the phone I just went and said smoke shop. Usually what pops up is like a
tobacco.
vape shop. It's a vape shop. That's what I was looking for. So I'm like, okay, here's the closest one. It's a mile away. I go in there's a really pungent weed smell. And
it was a legit smoke shop.
It was a legit smoke shop.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, oh no, red flag. I gotta. Yeah. But I was the only person in there. I looked like I might have been the only customer all day.
Right.
So I felt like I had to just stick around all half-ass and awkwardly. I pretend to browse.
I'm just in the market for
and then
anything not.
And luckily, within a minute, another customer walked in. I'm like, okay, thank you, and then I left.
And so on the pot, like on weed, man, it's really hard for me because, I get a little bit of creativity from that, obviously, right? Not even a little bit, a lot, right? So I'm trying to find my inner self to keep that creativity alive. Like it's obviously there. Mm-hmm. And obviously the influences, and I think this is what a lot of artists struggle with. You're a comedian, writer, filmmaker, what that's like. It's hard to find that stuff that's inside your brain and get it out without influence. And I'm trying to get to that place. And I know it's going to be a little bit challenging, but at the same time, it's going to be cool to know that I can do it, and there's plenty of people that do.
Right. What's interesting is, I guess it's true that they say, weed is a different reaction to a lot of people. I never had a problem with marijuana because I was never a really big pot smoker.
Sure.
I mean, I was pretty much in high school. I mean, I smoked it in college.
Yeah.
But I always chose alcohol over pot every day.
Yeah.
Even when my friends would just be sitting around smoking pot, playing video games, being funny, I would be the only one drinking.
Yeah. No,
I didn't realize.
Very similar to you.
Yeah, I would be the only one drinking because whenever I smoked pot, I never liked.
I wasn't a social smoker. I was not a social smoker. I was.
I'm a social smoker, but in small doses. If I'm hanging out with a handful of friends and we're not planning on doing anything other than maybe taking a hike or going to the beach, or if we're just sitting around binge watching Rick and Morty.
Sure.
Then I could smoke weed, have a conversation, and we could get funny and silly.
Yeah.
But I can't be like one of my friends that can smoke a bunch of weed and then go to a party
and actually... Shout out to those that can.
and actually party.
Right.
Because I get too lost in my own head.
Oh, man.
I become very introverted when I smoke pot.
Likewise.
And I don't like to be around a lot of people. People say that you smoke pot if you're nervous in crowds. That makes me more nervous in crowds.
No, totally. I mean, for me, so what happened is I stopped smoking weed really back in high school, freshman, sophomore year. Something bad happened. I don't remember. Well, I do remember. I got crossfaded, right? Where you drink and you smoke, and I got too sick. So I was like,
we've all been there.
Alcohol. I know what I feel like. I'm good. I know even if I black out, I'm good, right? And then 2020 came along, and I was still battling with the alcohol addiction because that's my primary drug of choice, right? And,
me too. Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool. I got to quit alcohol. And I started out with the CBD stuff, right? So my buddy was like, CBD, I swear by it, anxiety, whatever, pain, anything, CBD. And so the CBD shop that was around the corner from me, I was going there. And then when COVID hit, they started closing it earlier. And so by the time I got off of work, they'd be closed and I had to go to the cannabis clubs. And so, of course, at the cannabis clubs, they don't sell anything that's just CBD. It always had just a little bit of THC. So for me, I'm an addict. And so I started out with a little bit of THC, and it was really high dosage of CBD. Mm-hmm. And then the next time I went, they were out of that product. So there's a little bit more THC, and I'm like, and then probably within a month, it was 99% THC and a little bit of CBD, and I was just getting stoned all the time. And, again, with the mental health thing, it the isolation and all that stuff that came along with it, it kind of consumed me. And I saw, the same addict behaviors that I had with alcohol started happening. So for me, it's that for me, anything that alters my mind, I can't really put in my body. That's the reality of who I am.
And that's the beauty of like going to the camp and like going to a decent rehab. We do a lot of the soul searching where we start to realize like why we can't have it. Whether it's like looking at it like, oh man, I got to give this up. Life is going to suck. Right. You do some deep soul searching and you're like, oh, I know I can't have this because I become
addicted.
Not even just addicted. It's literally like a Jekyll and Hyde effect. And like you turn into like a demon version of yourself that you just don't really like. Like my demon version was like I wasn't be abusive. Like I wouldn't hit people. I wouldn't start fights. I would just like hurt myself.
Absolutely.
You know, I would be hurting myself. And like,
just destructive. Self-destructive
stuff.
Yeah, and
with marijuana is kind of interesting because I still feel like I could, because I was never really a person that smoked weed by myself.
Okay.
Because I would get paranoid.
Yes. That's the reason why I smoked by myself, because I got paranoid.
And like you know, I came up with ideas when I'd smoke out, like good ideas, but I can never write while I smoke out because then because then I start thinking of something else and I do something else. And then
ADD kicked in.
Yeah, the ADD kicked in. But like coffee and tobacco, coffee and smoking has been like they say like alcoholics go to smoking and coffee, and honestly, I can't function throughout the day without coffee and smoking. Quite frankly, I can see why so many writers smoke. Yeah, because I get really functional. It's like that light. It's like it gives you a buzz as you're writing. When you're like writing and you hit a writer's block, then you smoke a little bit. Then your mind kind of like goes to a really good place. Yeah, and you could still function. Yeah. And you still got that buzz going where you don't really think about any of the other substances that you use that you thought were enhancive to your creativity.
Tell me why, ever since I've been back, you know, I'm watching a little bit more TV now, and every other commercial is about how terribly addicting the vaping is.
Oh my God.
They have this commercial.
Tell me more.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, I grab my vape pen every single time. I'm like, motherfucker. And it's like, that same addicting behavior.
Oh my gosh.
It's just so funny.
Then the next commercial is this bud's for you, which is way more self-destructive and kills more people than the vaping. Right. Like, it's so funny when they play those anti-vape commercials, and then the next commercial would be like a alcohol commercial where everyone's having a good time, everyone's beautiful, everyone's gorgeous. Right. That's more infuriating than especially if you're a recovering alcoholic, if you're an alcoholic and you just can't afford what they're selling.
And I mean, and that. So I really thought that I was going to struggle more with like maybe because this is my second go around with sobriety. Yeah. And I'm it's now coming up on 9 months of sobriety from alcohol. August 28th was my sobriety date for that. You know. But there were still some pills and like I said, marijuana was in there. So, but all that being said, I thought I would have more cravings for alcohol, but I just know the dick that I become. I know.
You play the tape.
Yeah, and
it's weird how that works.
So much carnage has happened in my life between legal issues, divorce, relationships like falling apart, and just how much I would put that over everything. And it's just like, I'm so grateful that I was able to notice that and have the recovery mindset and tools that I have under my belt now.
I know. I don't know where I would be today if I didn't learn those in rehab, because those have been really helpful. Also living in a sober living environment.
Yeah. Kudos to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're good people here. I get along with everybody. Good. It's just the only thing that's triggering. And you know, I still see my family. I went over to my family's place for dinner. Sure. I don't get triggered when my dad has beer, right? Because he's not like a drinker. Right. He does drink every day, but like, you know, but functional. Very, very functional. He doesn't get. The only time I ever see him drunk is when it's like a celebration. Sure. When it's like, even like at a Christmas party, he doesn't get hammered. He'll have cocktails, but he won't get hammered. The only time I ever see him get hammered is when he's on a lake. Got it. Is when it's like 4th of July and like it's a bunch of people. Oh, yeah. You know. Where you're supposed to get totally sloshed, and I don't get triggered when my mom drinks wine with dinner in front of me, or when my dad drinks beer or wine in front of me. I do get triggered when I walk past a bar and everyone's having a grand old fucking time.
You know, and I agree with
commercials and every other commercial you see is like a beer and liquor commercial. And
I totally get that, and I'm hoping, I think we can probably do a trial run. I think my biggest thing is having sober friends, so right now we have a good solid group of people that are either in Sacramento or in the other area.
And I'm really happy to have like some sober people around.
Yeah, because like we can go, like those comedy clubs and stuff like that, they require the 2-drink minimum, but they don't say you have to buy alcohol. They just say 2 drinks minimum. Or, like when there's 2 of us, and you can buy dudes drinks and I can buy girls drinks. No, just kidding.
Fuck you.
And it'll work out.
The gay thing again. Like seriously, dog. Like,
no,
God, I gotta. Oh man.
No, but on a real note, we can send those drinks to girls if they want them, or whatever. And
we could play that. We could play that. Yeah, way. And also, it also kind of helps if we don't want to do that because if you ever buy drinks at a comedy club, they're overpriced as hell.
Right, and
so that's a money saver right there. We can just split an appetizer. Or something.
One thing I was blessed to find out is that when you don't drink, girls actually like that, dude. Like, they really like a sober dude. They obviously don't like a sober dude that's like, here, drink this mini. Like, you're not like feeding them drinks and you're staying sober. That's awkward and weird and creepy.
Yeah, not when you're like to order 2 shots, she takes the drink and you kind of
not like that. But if you own it, you say, hey, I'm sober, and I actually this girl Michaela, god damn, she's gorgeous, and I'm so bummed I messed that up during my little 2020 bender.
Mm-hmm.
But she, I reached out to her when I got back. And she's like, oh, I'm in a serious relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck you, But she was sober. And she, one of the first things that we had talked about was she had mentioned the Serenity Prayer out of nowhere, and I was like, that's dope. And then I started feeling guilty, and that's why it didn't work out. But anyhow, point is, dude, there are plenty out there, and I think our society is starting to recognize that sobriety is cool. You know what I mean? Like it's at the Super Bowl, they were showing tons of commercials with these non-alcoholic beverages that they're selling.
Every brewery now is
they got options.
Sierra Nevada has like a lot of non-alcoholic beers too.
I have no interest of tasting them because it'll just make me want the real thing. Mm-hmm. But it's cool to know that if I did go to a place like that, or
I made a deal. I made a deal with myself. Like, I'm not gonna not drink an alcoholic beverage. I'm just not gonna buy like a 6-pack of non-alcoholics and keep it here.
Yeah,
because that'd be more triggering.
Exactly.
But I think I could handle it if, like, let's say some of my friends from Santa Barbara came down here, and we all wanted to go out to dinner.
Exactly.
And they had beers. They
had
had beers.
Yeah.
And then they happened to have my favorite non-alcoholic beer was non-alcoholic Heineken 0.0.
Yes.
Oh yeah, shout out to Heineken.
That was my favorite other beer too.
Well, the non-alcoholic beer tastes exactly like a regular Heineken, so you can't taste the difference, and you're actually drinking it for the flavor, and you feel like you're still part of the social group.
I mean, and there's some meals that just taste good with freaking beer. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, like that's German what I'm saying. Food. Like if we, because I was starting to think like I'm gonna hate not having the beer and hot wings combo.
Right.
But like now, like there's so many places and bars that have non-alcoholic beer. So if you want to go out with your homies and get good wings, that's the only time I'll get like a non-alcoholic beer is when I go out with people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just not keep it here at the house.
No, without a doubt.
And another, but yeah, so it's a slippery slope, but I think we're staying on track with the sobriety.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I might even occasionally smoke weed with my friends, like from time to time, just because
it works for you. It works for you.
Well, yeah, just because I found this is just me personally. I did more stupid shit and did way more other drugs when I was drinking.
Right.
Then I think alcohol is way more of a gateway drug than marijuana is.
I mean, it is by far one of the worst drugs known to man. I mean, it destroys your body, destroys your brain, and it destroys everything around you if you let it. You know what I mean? So it's society has made it so accessible, so accepted that it baffles me knowing that how destructive it actually can be, and how
until you actually get to like a rock bottom scenario.
Oh yeah.
I hit rock bottom 3 times.
Yeah. Too many to count, unfortunately. I'm in my 30s now, and it's just like, thank God I'm not.
I'm curious about the thing that you said about like women liking a sober guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking maybe that might be a generational thing. Because think about it. I'm 24. You're like, what, 30, 31?
31.
Yeah, you're 31. that probably may be true for women in
I'm
their
still
30s.
talking about 18-year-old women.
Really?
Yes, they can party. I just don't party with them. I mean, I party with them, just not the way that they party.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I'm nervous about. Like, what if I hook up with the smoking hot chick, but she wants to go out and party, and I have to? I'm like, no, I'm sober.
They like it because you're still in control. And
we both know who's driving.
Hey, fuck that. I'm still taking an Uber. No, it's just it is, bro. And like for me, like the reality is, I like girls that don't have that mentality of party. Like if they want to go out with the girls, have their time, whatever. Like good for them. Like do your thing. Yeah. Like enjoy your stuff. But if they show any signs of dysfunction, I'm out. Well,
that's just damaging to your.
Yeah, exactly. My program is primary.
And you got a family.
Got my little man. Yep, I do. And
you got to look after him.
It's in this order. God in recovery, my kid. And then, after that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's right. But
if it's
so
not
if any
good,
of those things, like
yeah.
If anybody comes in between any of that, then that's not. I'm done. I don't feed into it. Don't give second chances. I'm over it.
I'm sure an exception to the rule would be like if a friend, let's say me, like if we relapse and we need help.
Oh, of course, man.
Help.
Like I told you,
that'd be an exception to the rule.
I have alcoholic friends, and I'm still friends with them. They don't.
No, I still got friends that drink. I'm not gonna. Sometimes it pisses me off in rehab when people tell you got to get new friends and ditch your old friends.
And
I'm just like,
that
I'm not gonna.
Very true for some people.
For some people, but I'm not gonna do that with all my friends that still drink.
Totally, no, and I think
they got their shit together.
The difference for me is if those people that do that lifestyle try to make you do that lifestyle,
right?
To stay with them, to stay friends with them, then they're not good for you.
No,
but if they respect your choices, they don't offer you anything. They keep it under the wraps. They're not getting blasted, blacked out.
Right.
Then then whatever. Like live and let live. Like that's
what I'm saying. People that have their shit together, that are your friends, that have been your friends for a long
normies,
time,
bro.
but still continue to drink. I got a bunch of friends.
The reality is, we don't live in a sober world. It's not going to be, you're going to interact with people that do drink. You're going to be, as you grow, especially in the industry that you're in. With film and everything like that, there's gonna be that kind of stuff going on regularly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just about.
I just look at it like I'll have some dirt on some people.
I mean, for me, it's just like it's all about like my greatest takeaway this time in recovery is self-discipline and self-love. Like I didn't have that, and I won't ever get into a relationship where that diminishes again. Like that just is not gonna happen. And anyhow. That's a whole nother podcast another day. I'm sure you'll have me over.
You'll be a reoccurring guest for sure.
But all right. Yeah.
So before we sign off, it's time for Buda's Random Top 5.
Let's hear it.
This is a segment we do on every single podcast where I'm going to ask you a question. You have to rank your choices and like a list of 5. So name 5 famous people, 5 famous celebrities you would never want to have hit on you.
5 celebrities I would never want to have hit on me?
Yeah.
Let's see. Lizzo, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. She's like a pop artist chick that is always finding a reason to get naked, but she's heavy set. And I love me some big women, but I just feel like I would get...
You got standards when it comes to your big women.
No, when I say I got love for them, I don't. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Teach his own.
We can be friends.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5 of them. I need to have 5 people.
I don't like guys, but I'll be friends with them.
Christopher Walken, I would think would be really awkward to be hit on me.
Dude, I would love it if Chris Walken hit on me. Actually,
oh shit!
Can you imagine how great of a story would that be? Yeah, Chris Walken hit on me.
I would be so baffled. Like, what the hell? Let's see. Who's another one?
That would be awesome. Actually, hey, you're looking pretty slim.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'd start questioning.
Let me buy you.
Yeah, I would have to go for it. So that's why I would hate it. No. Let's see.
2.
Third, DMX.
No
what up, dog? I'm like, shit.
No explanation necessary. I can understand why you would not want DMX to hit on you. That's a great answer.
Let's see. Another one. What's the guy? Oh, what's his name? The Harvey Weinstein.
Well, he's in prison.
Well,
so.
yeah, exactly. He gets out, he's gonna be all hardcore now, and like, I'm trying to get into movies. You know, I don't want him to be like, hey, in order to do this movie.
Oh, he's not welcome back like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
There's probably still people like that.
So we're at, what is that, 3 now?
That's 4.
That's 4? Okay, 5th one. I'm trying to think of off-the-wall people. Another one would be... Oh, man, I don't know. I've never thought of this. Female-wise.
That's the point of the
Yeah,
movie. It's like gets
yeah.
you on the spot.
Yeah.
Just a fun thing to do.
Miley Cyrus. She would be too much for me, bro.
Oh no, I think
She would be
I think she'd be
way
like a really
too
good.
wild.
Oh no, I would trust
She
me.
would fuck my sobriety up so quick. Because if she hit on me, I would be like, you wild bitch, let's get fucking nutty. Like,
you can get nutty in this. You can get.
I just wouldn't
Dude,
be able to
honestly,
do it.
I would do it because I would think that Miley Cyrus is obviously just using you for a one-night stand, and you don't even have to make the effort to
But
leave.
why
I have a
me?
feeling I have a feeling she would leave in the morning.
Right, and I think
So-
she would just come in to cause mayhem, you know?
Well, it'd be-
havoc and mayhem. Straight
Oh
up.
man, I disagree. I would love it if she hit on me, man. But then again,
Yeah.
I'm just desperate.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, and now it's Buda's random pick. This is where.
Okay.
So my film of the week
Uh-huh.
that I have to recommend to people that are to watch on either Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend the film True Romance. It's
Okay.
a classic from the 90s. It's written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott, if you haven't seen it. It's a very famous film, but if you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It stars Christian Slater. It's got Christopher Walken, Gary
Nice.
Oldman, Brad Pitt,
Okay.
Val Kilmer,
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette.
Okay.
A whole
I'll have to check it out.
a whole big cast of
Yeah,
characters.
it sounds like it.
Chris Penn,
I love that Christopher Walken's in there after we just talked about
Yeah,
him.
exactly. Dennis Hopper too.
Nice.
It's a fantastic movie written by Tarantino.
Yeah.
It's about a couple that inadvertently a guy kills a pimp and
Okay.
falls in love with the prostitute.
Yeah.
That he takes a briefcase that thinks it's full of her stuff and it's full of like pounds and pounds of cocaine. So they're on the run from
Very
the
nice.
law, the mob, and
Yeah.
all these people. And they're trying to get rid of this
Okay.
coke to
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah.
But it's a great wild movie. And a TV show I'd recommend is actually one that I wanted to talk with you about because I watched the first episode last night of Queen's
Sure.
Gambit.
Yes.
So
Queen's
if you haven't
Gambit.
seen Queen's Gambit, I highly recommend
Love it.
watching Queen's Gambit. It's definitely
Shit show
an addictive.
of a show, but I love it.
It's a shit show of a show. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah. How did you it from the first episode?
I loved it. I mean, I thought it was great. I was already so a little background is I had just gotten out of a smaller facility for like a little short rehab thing, and I had been playing chess there, and so I got out. And there's this. It's all about chess, and this girl that takes these this medication, and I was just like watching her, and it's just freaking awesome. I don't know, it was just awesome watching it. It was greatly filmed, and it
the writing's
the story is
really unique.
cool.
And
Yeah,
it's, I like shows that could take a really boring topic chess and make it like interesting
and make it. Yeah, it was just really
interesting,
cool.
exciting to watch.
Definitely.
Like I love that's just a stellar example of like really good writers.
Yeah,
in the
and it was
business.
filmed well.
Very filmed. The
Yeah.
cinematography is very very well done. And
Yeah.
like shows like that is like definitely worth a shout out and at least a view.
And I had no idea what it was going to be about when I clicked on it. I was like, oh, new show, Queen's Gambit. All right, whatever. And I thought it was going to be about a queen.
I thought it was going to be like British royalty show,
Right,
like another
exactly.
like another Downton Abbey.
Yeah, exactly. Which I've never seen.
Which is a good show, and also another example of taking a boring concept of like the aristocracy in like early 19th century England.
Yeah,
and it's really interesting. Like it shows you like perspectives of the entire class system, from the gardeners to the servants to the higher people and it's really interesting go around, and like a lot of backstabbing, secrets being shared.
I have to check that one out too.
Oh,
I've heard good things about that one. I've just never seen it.
Yeah. Downton Abbey's a good one, and Queen's Gambit especially.
Yes.
All right. that's all the time we got. So I'd
Yes,
like
sir.
to thank my friend Kris H for being here.
Thank you for having me, Brent.
Yeah, and
Appreciate you.
look out for his book within a year. It is called
The Revert.
The Revert.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully going to be available on Amazon or
Oh, yeah.
possibly in a local bookstore in Sacramento. And I will see you guys next time. This is Brent Buda signing off.